Hello YouTube, I am back. Sorry this has not gone up a lot sooner than I wanted to yet again. I actually had this completely ready a couple of weeks ago because I was planning to put it up when I was at my field school. But then when I went to look to see if it was like good to go, I saw that one of my my intro part to this kind of just replaced itself with a different one, and the original one was just deleted because one, my computer is slow, and two, I'm impatient. So that just was a bad mix. I don't know what exactly happened with it. I just know that I'm not good at technology, and I prove it time and time again. So yeah, I have no idea what I said in the intro because it was probably a month ago that I had recorded it. I don't know where the paper is that I was kind of reading off of. But yeah, so there's no intro really. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's any spoilers here, so if you haven't read it, it might be best not to watch it. But I mean, the only thing is that I remember is that I did not like the book. It did not change my thoughts on the entire Maze Runner series. Just no. So and it angered me that it happened on this book where I did not like it and I did not want to do anything with it. I wanted to be done with it. So yeah, so I don't remember what I said, but here's the rest of it without the introduction. So I'm sorry again for how horrible it is. I need to figure out technology. Me and technology have to like form an understanding. At least I do. And it has to realize that I suck. Which it can't, because it is not a thing that can do that. But, so yeah, I need to figure stuff out. Hopefully though, my other following videos will be fine. I got a lot of files off of my computer, so hopefully it won't be slow. Hopefully that'll mean I won't get as angered at it, and I'll be able to produce better stuff. So I hope you enjoy my thoughts on The Kill Order by James Dashner, the last in the Maze Runner series. It's the prequel of the series, so yeah, here it goes.
What I thought was good though was we do still learn some things about how this all started. So if you went through the first 3 books, you might as well read this one, because it does give some answers to questions, at least that I had while reading the first 3 books. So you do learn some stuff. You don't learn all of it. Like, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but we don't learn who Chancellor Paige is. Don't know who she is at all. She's just there and somehow is important. So there's that. Again though, with the dramatic chapter endings. Oh my god. I was so pissed off. I was even though I wanted to read the book quickly to get it over with, I was dreading the end of each chapter because just he was making it dramatic for no reason. We get something's gonna happen. You don't have to do it, like, make the climax of each part the end of the chapter. No. The ending was pretty okay. I mean, like I said before, it did not excuse me, I don't know why I lost my voice right there. It doesn't change really how I feel about these books. Could have ended a lot worse than it did. So there was that. And then, like I said before, it did get a lot of questions answered, which was good. So now, if you have not read this book yet, go I guess read it. If you, like I said, if you read the first 3 books, you might as well finish and read this one, because you will get a lot of questions answered. But if you have not finished or read it, don't watch anymore. I'm going to spoil a bit. I'm not going to go too much into it because I just want to be done with this series. I don't want to touch it anymore. I'm going to put it in my bookcase and it's going to stay there probably for a long time. But, so yeah. If you haven't read the book, I'm going to be dishing some spoilers, so leave. The prologue, it was interesting because it was Teresa's point of view, telling a bit about how Thomas was getting prepared to go into the maze, or into the Glade maze thing. So this part took place right before the Maze Runner. And I was, like, during the beginning, I was a bit confused why Teresa was starting it out. I thought it was going to be about her, but it was 13 years earlier. But we find out why that was put there, which it was good. We find out how the disease was spread. We kind of knew that the government did give the people the disease, and it was because that there was a lack of resources, so they kind of had to do like if everybody was still alive, the whole race would have been extinct in a matter of like years. So they used the disease to get rid of some people, so that way the human race had a chance to live. And we find out that the disease affects the head. A lot of people who had contracted the disease says that it felt like bugs were up there eating away, or that there was things living in their skulls. So it is affecting purely the mind, which we kind of could have gotten from the first, well, more so the death cure with the Newt and how he was acting and that kind of stuff. It kind of gave it away, so that wasn't really a big surprise. And the reason that they used this disease was because they thought it could be controlled and contained. When you're I'm not a very medical person or deal with diseases and that kind of stuff, but I know that diseases are not a thing to be messed with. Even the ones that we do know about, we probably shouldn't mess around with them because it could go, I don't know, just it could go wrong. It can go wrong. And those are things that really, unless you know you have a cure for it, but even then, you can't be 100% sure that you can control it. So it was just stupid. Why didn't they just, like, get some guns and be like, okay, you're gonna live, you're gonna die. You're gonna live, you're gonna die. And then shoot the ones that they were like, okay, you're gonna die. That would have been a lot safer. But no, it's just stupid going to diseases. I mean, it's common sense that you would not do that. There was a funny part. I kind of laughed because it was kind of stereotypical. There was a dude who was kind of like the head of this cult that who they all had the disease. So it was a cult, which is bad. They're kind of crazy at some point. Not to be mean or anything. I'm not a part of a cult, but just like the stereotypical feeling I think about cults is that they're kind of crazy. So there was that. Then they also had the flare, the disease. So they're even more crazy. So they're like a cult of today on acid and even like all the drugs, just on every drug possible. But then to make it even more stereotypical, the head person of it, his name was Jedediah. I don't know, but that just seems so like so stereotypical. It's funny because it's stereotypical, but still. And then just it was weird because he was crazy, obviously. But then he's like, "Oh, he says that he was killed and then he just falls dead." Like it wasn't like he got a bullet somewhere you can tell you're going to die from it. Something I think just clicked in his brain and he was like, "Oh, I'm dead now. I'm dying." And then he just falls. Like, what? How does that happen? I don't know. Also, it was weird, and it was only mentioned briefly, but it caught my attention because this date is 5 years away, not even like 4.5 exactly. It says that there was a war of 2020. I want to know what that was about, because it was just kind of slyly put in there. What was the war of 2020? I don't know. That stuck out for me because it was so random, because it's a close time. We're 4 main people, really, for this. I'd say they were Mark, Alec, Trina, and Dee Dee. There was also some other people. Lana was a big character, but she kind of not as much as the other four, even though she was in it longer than Dee Dee was. Mark, we see this kind of from Mark's perspective, even though it's third person, we see it from Mark's perspective. He's this dude who's been in love with a girl for years, but it took the sun flares to happen and them to be the only two people really that they knew alive for them to like fall in love and that kind of stuff. So that was kind of cliche, I guess. So, and he also was just like, I don't know, he was weak, I guess. I don't have a better way to say it, so I'll just say it how it is. He was kind of weak. He kind of relied on everybody else. We see that go away a bit, but that's also because he was starting to go crazy and he just did whatever the hell he wanted. So then there was Alec, who used to be in the military. He would fly the, oh goodness, I always forget the word for it. Whatever the transporty flying thingy was called, he knew how to operate those. And he had a lot of like military training, so he was basically the reason, him and Lana, who was also a military person, they were the reasons that the rest of them survived, basically. So, there was Trina, who, in the beginning I kind of liked her better than Mark, because she seemed more strong-willed, but then there was the whole thing like, oh, she kind of just turned to love him, because I guess I saw it as that they were the only two together from their past life, so she kind of clung on to that, which I guess is understandable, but still, I don't know, I just don't like that. And then Dee Dee, who we don't encounter until like halfway through the book, I think, who was one of the people who was shot with the disease, but it did not affect her at all. Like, she was completely fine. She did not have the disease or whatever, she didn't go crazy. I want to know why she was like that, why, even though she was shot directly with the disease, it did not affect her at all. That would be interesting to find out. But we're probably not going to get that, so whatever. So there was those 4 people. With Alec, he was, or not Alec, with Mark, he was just stupid at times, and then, okay, we realize that Mark has been affected a number of chapters before it was, like, outrightly stated. And when it was stated, like, in the book, like, oh my god, he has a flare, it was said in such a dramatic way. I'm sorry, James Dashner, but you rely on the drama a little too much. It's not good, because a little bit is okay, but you go overboard with it. Not saying you're a bad author. You're, like I said in the other video, I could not do even half of what you do. So it's just, I did not like it that much. It did not, it's not the style I like. So if you like drama, then you're fine with these books, but that's not me. It's just too much drama in expected places, so it's not really very dramatic. It's just silly. Then we find out that Trina's sick, and I want to know again why it went so long in between. Like, I know it was mutating so it could last longer, but how come it's only affecting them now? Why did it take so long for it to take effect for them? What made them special that they were a bit stronger in keeping the disease out, I guess? Why were they allowed to? Or not allowed to. Why were they, like, more immune to it? Or stronger against it? I want to know that. Now, Alec is sick, and it just hit him like that. We didn't even see anything. I mean, it was the same for Trina, but we weren't really with Trina for a period of time, and it was enough time, like, where she could have gone through the stages and gotten progressively more crazy. But she wasn't even crazy. She just was out of, like, you can tell she wasn't all there. With Alec, he wasn't crazy like the cranks or the other diseased people, but, like, he was, like, sweating. You can tell he was sick. and he was just like staring at Mark while he was sleeping. So that's a bit crazy. So we didn't really see that with Trina. Maybe it happened. I don't know. We definitely saw it with Mark. Holy crap, when he got crazy, he freaking murdered people in very, very gory way. Like, he was about to have this dude, which, yeah, he was he was killing people who were already crazy. But still, I mean, isn't there a little bit of decency? Shouldn't you be a little bit nicer when you're putting someone out of their misery because they have a disease? But no, he was Berg, that is the word. Why don't I remember that when it's so close to my name? Don't know. But yeah, anyway, the Berg door, I guess, was closing, and I imagine it, like, coming up like this or something, which I don't think is right, because I don't know how that would happen, but he had the dude's head, like, or body right in between, so it was half in, half out of the Berg, and it was closing, and I just imagine it looking like, if you were squeezing a ketchup bottle, like, on a corner of a table or something to try to get all of it out, and I felt his head was gonna, like, just pop off. So that is one way to go. I do not want to die that way. That would not be anywhere close to fun. Not, like, I mean, dying isn't fun, but that is just, like, extremely, extremely not a fun way to go. When they were trying to save Trina, Lana, I think her name was, and Dee Dee from where they were taken, because there was a whole thing, of course, where they were separated and tried to find each other and that kind of stuff, and they ended up being with the crazy people. So they were trying to rescue them. Alec gave Mark one, like, rule to obey by. Do not let the crazy people take your weapon, because it was a weapon that if you were hit with it, you would just, like, dissolve into ash. Like, you were just gone. What happens? Mark lets them take the weapon, not once, but twice. Like, honestly, I'd be holding on to that weapon. I'd be holding so tight. Like, you'd have to kill me to get it. I imagine it from the Percy Jackson movie, which I know it's not good, but I watched them. But how, when the lady was Medusa'd and holding Annabeth's hand, like, I'd have to be in that kind of state, and even then, I'd still be gripping onto it in a way that even if you broke my arm, you'd have to, like, break off my whole arm to get it out of my hands. But no, Mark lets the crazy people get it twice. Not smart at all. There's not really much I have to say other than finding out that Teresa was Dee Dee. I wish I had liked her more, because Dee Dee didn't really do much, but it makes me understand more where she was coming from, I guess, and it makes me like her character a bit more. I wish I had known that before I read the other books. Maybe that would have changed. I wouldn't have hated her as much. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm just so glad I'm done with this series. Don't have to look at it for a while. I have a feeling that this series is going to be one that is going to that's going to be more enjoyable on the big screen, on, like, watching it. It was a meh series. Other people might like it better. If you did, tell me why. Maybe I just needed to read it differently. Like, I don't know. Maybe I needed to read it all, like, in a same time period. I still doubt that that would have helped its case, but, I mean, I don't know. If you liked the books, let me know in the comments why. Maybe your thoughts will help me like it better in my mind. Because right now, like I said, not really that great. So, if you like this, please like the video. Please subscribe if you didn't, on the note of subscriptions, I noticed that I got one more subscriber, and that made me happy because I was stuck at like 18 for months, and finally I'm up to 19. Can we please try to get it to 20? That would be so nice, just to reach 20, my age. That would just be great. I wouldn't care if it stopped there for a while. So yeah, please subscribe, please share this video if you liked it, and please stick around for other videos I might put up. So yeah, thank you.